What do you make of this? What'd you see?
I saw a whole lot of nothing from the Steelers. And what got me was heading into that game, talking to players, talking to coaches pregame, you would think Tomlin was fired up. Like, let me tell you what AFC North week is like for Tomlin. He goes into the room and he's like, all right, good morning. It's AFC North football. Man puts a photo of a fire on the screen because we're in the kitchen now, boys. It's getting hot in here. And he's got all that Omar Epps energy with him. And then his team comes out. And I don't know what that was, because that was not the Steelers. The Steelers football, it's supposed to be bash your face in. It's supposed to be you go across the middle, we're going to knock you out. And what the Steelers are doing now is not that.
Yeah, I mean, losing their identity is something I think people have been talking about for the Steelers for a few years now.
Yeah.
It's something that I bristled at because I would look at that defense and say, they look like they still have that physical identity. And people saying, well, they want to pass the ball. They want to put their nose down and run. It seemed evident. And I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment and make too much of this one game. But that game was ugly. And it's not a small game. It's a big divisional game against a divisional opponent that you normally kind of dominate. And to have to get blown out like that, to lose to them twice and have the second loss, like that's a revenge game. And it got even worse. And so, yeah, it's a little shocking only because Mike Tomlin said what he said. Because Tomlin seems like generally the type of guy in that moment to yell at guys in the locker room, but come out in front of the media and be like, we got this, whatever. But no, whatever he's saying in the locker room, he felt like it was not resonating. So he had to go public with it and hopefully drive that point home.
There's one more piece of this I want to play as I get Booger and Tim in. So there's been a lot of talk about how do we get this thing right. I want you to hear a suggestion that Chase Claypool made about how they might want to get practice going a little bit, and then you will hear Mike Tomlin's response to that.
Shut your mouth. That's basically what he said. Like, just shut up.
I mean, they're in trouble. There's no bad ideas right now. Claypool is out here spitballing, man. He's trying to figure this out.
More music and dancing at practice. That seems the opposite of what Ryan Clark was saying. Go ahead, Booger.
Well, in all fairness to Chase Claypool, he was asked a question, I'm sure, about whatever, and he gave an answer. But at the end, he said Mike T is going to handle that better. But we're going to comment. So I'm just trying to give him just a little bit of an out there.
Sure.
As far as the Pittsburgh Steelers, Domonique, I agree with you. This has been going on for a couple of years. You are what you practice and you are what you emphasize. They've been a soft team physically on offense for the last 2 or 3 years, so that's now carried over to their defense. They tried to go out and rectify that, Greeny. As we're sitting up there at the draft, they're trying to draft offensive linemen because they knew their offensive line needed help. Well, guess what? You've practiced this way for a couple of years. You've emphasized, or you had a lack of emphasis on the running game. So yeah, they are soft. Their entire team is soft. And the only way you get that back is you got to practice, man. You can't live soft and fight tough. Okay, that's not how football works. You got to show up, and in the offseason, in training camp, you got to put those pads on, and you got to become physically tough. It's tough to get that back when you're going through walkthroughs and playing hip-hop and Jay-Z. That's not going to get it back.
No.
That may help
the
move, and I truly understand that the young guys – No. Well, but listen, playing music is not going to get you physically tough. It may get you hype, but that ain't going to make you hit nobody in the mouth. Not at all.
True. No, because I listen to a lot of music and I've never hit anybody in the mouth in my entire life. Tim Hasselbeck, you got a big smile on your face. Jump in here. What do you think?
It's just, listen, I want to be late to the party of the Steelers being done, in large part because of the sound bites you just played from Mike Tomlin. I mean, he's great. It's refreshing. It's most oftentimes completely accurate, and I love it. You know, that being said, I think what the guys and Kimberley have mentioned is all true. And, you know, they have not been a very physical football team. And, you know, the issue is we keep just looking at Ben, like Ben's the only issue. But, look, they're outside the top 20 and stopping the run. You know, with T.J. Watt out, they really don't have much of an identity defensively. And so, you know, the things that I always thought would carry this football team, which were going to be really talented guys on defense that were playing extremely hard and keeping them in it, and thought that they would get better at running the football, those things aren't happening. And so now, what is Pittsburgh hanging its hat on? Certainly not, you know, music as you're warming up. So that ends up being the issue for me.
Yeah,
not the Jay-Z. Oh boy.
They need to beat the Ravens this week to be in it.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.